Ready or Not 2, cast, story, and everything we know. Years after the success of the original movie, Ready or Not 2 hasn't materialized, but a Ready or Not sequel is currently in development. In the original movie, Grace, played by screen queen Samara Weaving, must survive a killer game of hide-and-seek after marrying into a rich family with a strange secret. Ready or Not is a schlocky horror comedy that leans into campiness while also making important social commentary. While horror movies tend to bomb with critics, Ready or Not gained a high Rotten Tomatoes critic score of 89%. Additionally, the movie thrived at the box office, grossing $28.7 million against its $6 million budget, per Box Office Mojo. Given the financial and critical success, movies like Ready or Not can always develop into a franchise. Though years had passed and chances of a sequel began to look grim, Ready or Not 2 is finally actually beginning to take shape. Ready or Not 2 latest news. A few months after the sequel was confirmed, the latest news reveals a new cast member has joined Ready or Not 2. Reuniting with the directing team Radio Silence for the first time since 2024's vampire movie, Abigail, Kathryn Newton has been tapped to play an as-yet unnamed role in Ready or Not 2. Newton joins Samara Weaving, who is returning for the sequel, but many details about the follow-up are still firmly under wraps for now. Ready or Not 2 is confirmed, with casting continuing in early 2025. It seems as if the movie is finally moving along. Recent updates from the directing duo of Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, Radio Silence, suggest that the behind-the-scenes work on Ready or Not 2 is moving along, and they confirmed the sequel in October 2024. Though details are still scant, Radio Silence did confirm that Samara Weaving is attached to the sequel, but they did not mention any story specifics. It's also unknown where the development currently stands, and no production timeline has been revealed yet. However, with casting continuing in early 2025, it seems as if the movie is finally moving along. Ready or Not 2 cast details. With Weaving attached, the sequel already has a lot of horror movie star power. Though the recently confirmed sequel is still largely shrouded in mystery, it has been confirmed that Samara Weaving will return for Ready or Not 2. Radio Silence confirmed her return at the same time that they confirmed the sequel, and it's assumed she'll be back to play her role as Grace. Considering the gory and explosive finale of the movie, it's assumed that Weaving will likely be the only returning star. However, with Weaving attached, the sequel already has a lot of horror movie star power. Kathryn Newton, Abigail, has joined the cast in an as-yet unnamed role. Ready or Not 2 story possibilities. After Ready or Not's ending, there are two directions that Ready or Not 2 could go, continuing the first movie and taking the anthology route. The sequel could catch up with what happened to Grace after the events of the first movie, and it's possible that she gets the wealth and curse from their deal with Mr. LaBelle. In that case, the curse could affect Grace and her spouse down the line in Ready or Not 2 if she ever decided to remarry. Alternatively, Ready or Not 2 could set up the future franchise in an anthology format, focusing on an entirely different family. Based on the existing lore, it's highly unlikely that Ready or Not's demon dealt with one family, and Mr. LaBelle's influence could stretch across the entirety of the 1%. However, with Samara Weaving's return to the franchise, the former story option seems the most likely.